Hey, Jack here, and thank you for checking out my video. So this video, what I'm going to do is for the first time, some people asked how to integrate Surfer SEO and Jarvis so that it become more powerful. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few ideas, and I will be doing a few more of these videos so that you know how I actually come up with long form articles that is SEO optimized, using Jarvis as the content creating tool. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, let's go back to the time when I didn't have Surfer SEO. So it took me a while to decide that whether I should go for Surfer SEO, and I was right. It was damn good. Why did I say that? It's simply because what happened is that Surfer SEO has just changed the pricing, just changed the pricing structure a week after I've joined, so I'm actually under the old pricing, which is cool. Let me talk about this in another video. So let's start with the time when I had Jarvis only, and there was no other SEO tool. So this is what I would do. So I'm actually helping a number of coaches to become better and more effective. So for the purpose of this article, because of the research, the feedback from the marketplace, I want to write an article about effective coaching skill. Now you see that the command to Jarvis is pretty vague. It's like, I don't know whether people are searching for effective coaching skill. I'm not sure whether effective coaching is a keyword people will be searching for. So I've got a couple of question marks in my mind. But anyway, assuming I am going ahead, this is what I will do. Jarvis, please give me the title. And I kind of like the 5 technique. Okay, how do I will just do this. 10 effective coach, how to keep your players motivated. Jarvis, please give me an intro paragraph, and Jarvis is doing his job. Okay, so this is the very standard one. If you have been following my video on Jarvis, you know this is my way of doing long form in the old days. When I say old days, I'm talking about a month ago. This is my 5th week of using Jarvis, so old means 1 month ago. All right, so I can see, okay, I like this, maybe I'll just pick this, use this one, and then thank you, Jarvis. So now I'm going to the document, what we call the focus mode, and you can see that this is title, content description, etc., etc. So now you can start going to ask Jarvis to create the content. Okay, so I'll stop. Now remember, the very first question I asked is, I don't know whether people are actually searching for effective coach or effective coaching skills. So one thing I would like you to do, even though you decide not to use Jarvis, okay, even though you decide not to use Surfer SEO, fine, there's actually a Chrome extension that you may want to check out. It's called Keyword Server. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave a link below so that you know, well, by clicking this link, you'll be coming to this Chrome server, so you don't need to worry about where's the link of that. Okay, so this is actually a free tool. Okay, a free tool for you to check out. Now I want you to understand how it works. So let's say if I go to Google page, my Google page, right? So I'm typing something called coaching skills. I want to see how many people are searching on Google about coaching skill. So you will see that by integrating that Surfer SEO or the keyword server, you'll see that I've got a logo here because the Chrome extension is now activated, such that whenever I'm typing anything on Google, I can see whether the words are in demand. Okay, so you can see that coaching skill is here, and it is 720 search volumes. So the CPC based on Google AdWords campaign is $2.78. So of course you can actually check different countries for that search. So the keyword coaching skill right now is based in America. I can go to Singapore, which is where I am from. So you see that I can check out Singapore, and there are only 70 okay, search on that, and of course the CPC is lower as a result. So typically I like to actually look at United States, because after all, US is the largest market. So you can see that I go back to US, there are 720 search. So I want you to pay attention to this. Of course, on one hand, by typing coaching skill, you see people also ask. Like, these are the questions that In my old days, I'll just plug into the keywords on Jarvis and let Jarvis come up with things that are relevant to coaching skill. Now, I want you to pay a bit more strategic observation here, because here's one thing. I've got a keyword server on the right hand side, so I'm actually talking about this tool, okay, this keyword server tool on Chrome extension. Okay, you see that here, similarity. This is how similar keyword is to coaching skill. So if you think that coaching skill is not the one that you choose, okay, you can see that there are other relevant related keywords. Okay, so if you understand fully what keywords and phrases are, then I don't need to continue the story. So what I'm doing is that I can see the volume search. So if I am searching for coaching skill, of course, coaching skill and coaching skill are very similar. Okay, however, you see the volume is 720 a month, which is okay. It's not that high, but it's okay. Okay, because I'm actually focusing on coaching skill. So some other keywords would be skills coaching, skills of a coach. I can actually check out coaching for managers, etc. So you can actually do a research on that to find out your keyword. Okay, so that's the reason why on one hand you can actually use this Chrome extension to help you. However, when we come to Surfer, I can do a keyword research on, let's say, coaching skills. So this is Surfer SEO, by the way. So the first thing is actually keyword research, and it's, by the way, as a subscriber, it is free of charge. Okay, I actually run keyword search on this, and then what happens is that I can see the results. So it does very similar thing that you can see just now on the Chrome extension. However, it of course give you a few more options or features. You can see that skill coaching is still back, skill coaches, skills coaches, coaching skills, etc., etc. So whatever you see on the Chrome extension, you can see here. So keyword research is one of the things that you can do on Surfer SEO. That's one. However, for today, I want to actually talk about how to write articles that's SEO rich. I mean, the SEO optimized. So the first thing is I go to Content Planner. Now, under the new subscription, Content Planner, there's no credits required anymore. The only credits that you need is actually Content Editor. Okay, so this is why Surfer SEO in the last week, there was quite a lot of confusion around as regards what exactly is the old pricing structure versus the new pricing structure. So under the new pricing structure, Content Planner is no longer based on credit. You can use it as many times as you want. However, once you have created the thing, let's say I've got online coaching. So the very first time when I use Surfer SEO, I got online coaching. Okay, so as a result, I created using Content Editor this thing called online coaching, and I found there are quite a lot of interesting topics that I can write about coaching. So one of the things that I've found out is actually skills coaching. Now I'm creating this on a totally blank page so that you do know I'm not making things up. I'm working with you to see what's going on, and I'm going to spend approximately 8 to 15 minutes on that, so stay tuned. I'll do my best to come up with a long form article which could be about 2,000 words in one go. Okay, let's see how it goes. All right, so the first thing is that right now there's nothing, and you can see that on the server on the left hand side there's nothing. This is the reason why, as a copywriter, if you are just using Surfer SEO, you still have to write your content, which is the reason why on Jarvis, integrating with a Surfer SEO, I am able to ask Jarvis to create the content. Now, I want to pay attention to a few things. Number one, I want to go to the brief. Now, these are the keywords, by the way, suggested by Surfer SEO. So there's header. So when you're creating your articles, make sure that you are able to incorporate these keywords as part of the headings. And natural machine language pattern, NLP. Okay, so these are the keywords that you should consider using. And on Surfer SEO, you can see that the numbers of times the keyword or phrases should be used. So let's say you talk about effective coaching skills. So Surfer SEO suggests that in your article you should have this phrase minimum try 2 times, maximum 6 times. Currently I have written nothing, and hence currently it's 0 times. So when you're doing an SEO optimization, bear that in mind. But right now I have nothing to start with, so let us start with something. Okay, so now let's talk about the brief data beta. Okay, here is the outline builder. We have got H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. So the first thing I like to see is look at H1. There's some interesting topic. Now I don't know, that some users of Surfer SEO saying that if you're talking about H1, it's likely on the internet. So when you're using Surfer to create your own piece, make sure that you do something to change the wordings or ask Jarvis to improve the content or rephrase it. So you do need to do something. So here is one thing. I see that I actually quite like the second one, 8 essential coaching skills for leaders. So all I do is that I just copy and I put it here. Oh my God, it's just too much, right? Because this is why the heading, all this becomes important. Okay, so now I change heading, you can see. Okay, but I can't just keep on copy and paste and then finish the whole piece, right? So this is the reason why I copy first, copy the header H1, I now go to Jarvis. So what I do is that on Jarvis, I want to put this here, 8 essential coaching skill. I want to actually put it as the title. Of course, cap every word, every letters, cap it for leaders. Okay, how do I know it's H1? By highlighting whole thing, H1. One more time, there you go. Okay, so I can start by doing this, right? So I can also go to this one and then do a copy and paste here. So this is how I start. But Jack is not effective. So what do we do? Okay, so now if you have subscribed Surfer SEO under Jarvis, you see a new button called SEO mode. You click this button, and then whatever you see on Surfer SEO will now be here. So I want to go back to this one that I've done the research already, is content from the content editor. So whatever you see from the content editor is now directly under here. Okay, so what I'm doing is that let me move myself up here first, so here, so that you can see my discussion. So now I'm 4 minutes. Okay, so I need to be fast. So what do I do? Number one, I go to brief beta again. I see H1. You see, H essential coaching skill for leaders is here. So just now what I could have done is I am opening up the H1 under Jarvis instead of going to Surfer SEO. Okay, so in fact, you do not need to go to Surfer SEO anymore, because what you see on the left hand side of the screen is from Surfer SEO directly. On the right hand side, it is from Jarvis. Okay, so now I want to actually look at, the first thing is that I want to look at the score. So just now I started with 0. So let me do a refresh and see what is the current score on Surfer SEO. So right now, my score is 14. Without writing a lot, I'm just written 96 words. So you can see that, hey, it's 14 already. So what is the best score you want to get at? Of course, 100 is always the best, right? No need. So basically, all you need is to make sure that your SEO score is in the green zone. So the green zone is defined as SEO score at 66 or 67 all the way to 100. My highest, I remember, my highest SEO score on one piece was 83. Generally speaking, I was able to do around 67 and 76. Okay, it depends on the topic. Some topics are very niche and therefore the ranking won't be high. Some are very, very highly ranked topic, like highly searchable topic. Of course, it really depends on the keywords that you're asking or searching for. So and then by doing this paragraph alone, you can see that I've got one-time coaching skills used already and one-time essential coaching skills. So it's highlighted in that case. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next, is, I know I've got 6 more minutes, so I will just go to H2. All I want is to look at under H2, what are the things, what are the paragraphs I can use to incorporate into my article. So this requires some sort of research, and you need to make a decision. So a lot of people, a lot of coaches want to use model. I kind of like it, so I just copy and paste here. Okay, and then what are coaching skills? So this is why I like to write article that way. I like to talk about the what, the definition first, so that I start with the right definition. Okay, so let me just H2 that. What else can I do? A lot of people actually ask, how can I improve my coaching skill? Yeah, that was good. So I will do it. I'll put a plonk here first. Okay, and then set outcome focused. Like, how many of you realize that a coach should be outcome focused? Well, yeah, that's good. Okay, so by doing this, okay, building trust. Of course, without building trust, the coachee, your client won't trust you. Yes, okay, go for it. Strength spotting is good because you are telling your client what are the strengths and areas of improvement. It's good. Adaptive communication. To be effective coach, a leader needs to know the power and impact. Okay, good. So I like that. So what I'm doing is that I just go to H2 and select the one that is relevant to my topic. Okay, so by doing this, what happens is that you don't need to worry about creating your own, like in the old days, Jarvis, please give me a blog post outline. Because by doing that, Jarvis doesn't know the keywords that you are focusing on. Using Surfer SEO, what happens is that now you are very strategic, because your keyword to be ranked is coaching skill, and these are the paragraphs suggested by Surfer SEO first. Now I'm just doing, I will stop here for a while, and I want you to see the impact. Now, of course, there's no rehearsal. I don't know what is going to happen. So let's see what it is. I go back to guideline. How many of you realize that by incorporating this, I haven't even asked Jarvis to do anything, the score is already 31. Okay, so of course, the last thing you want to do is this. You go back to the topic, 8 essential coaching skills for leaders. You can ask Jarvis to create a paragraph for that, but because Surfer SEO has already done the job, all I want to do is to ask Jarvis, okay, let Jarvis do something called rephrase the text. Okay, let it do it. Like sometimes, like the topic may be so complicated, and therefore you may even want to talk about using the explain it to the 5th grader. So I use that sometime when I'm getting into some very technical topics. It actually worked pretty well on that. So our instructor help you to master following. I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. So maybe I want to go to the 5th grader and see what happens. Okay, so in this case you may actually want to write on your own, like it's really depending on the topic. So I'll just leave it as it is first, and then what I want to do is a couple of things here. So I have only 2 more minutes to end the video. So number 1, I go to heading. I want to make sure that I am able to incorporate these keywords as headings in this article. So how many times have I used coaching skills? Yep, I've just used that. Okay, so that's 1. Okay, so I would do something about this. Okay, of course, if it's H1, sometimes that will push the score up. You never know. Okay, and then a model of coaching. I can't really do anything on that. So the header, I need to come up with something that is good. Okay, so let's see, outcome focus, adaptive communication. You're not okay. So right now I can't really incorporate this. Like in the interest of time, I can. If I have more time, I will do that. Okay, so now I go back to the brief. The next one I'm going to look at is H3. H3, header 3. Give me some more explanation or some more resources so that I'm able to incorporate into this particular article. Okay, so the H3 here, ask guiding question is 1, which is good. Okay, so I'll put it here first. Okay, model the behavior, understand the perspective. This is bloodily important in coaching. I put it first. Of course, you would need to like reword, rephrase, rewind. You just have to do adjustment. Listen, don't give up. Coaching skill for job interview, it's not what I want. Communication, this is the one. Good, so I put it here. So what I'm doing right now is I merely just take the H2 and H3 from Surfer SEO and plonk it on my article. So right now, without actually doing anything like content addition, you notice that I've got 33 right now. My words are 1148, paragraphs 13, headers 9, and usually when you incorporate images, you will see your score up. So how do I prove that? So of course on Jarvis you can't. I don't know how to do that yet. So I copy the thing. I go back to here, go back to Surfer SEO. I just want to show you this. So right now I'm going back to 38, right? So just now on Jarvis is 33, on Surfer SEO is 38. Okay, and all I want is that I just go here and I can just do a dummy image. By doing this, let's see what happens on the score. See, it's usually jump up 1 to 3 points from my experience so far. So how many of you realize that at this stage, without doing anything funny, you are already achieving a 41? Okay, so the next thing you need to do then is coming back to Jarvis, start your editing, okay, making sure the paragraphs make sense, is in line with what you are talking about. And in some cases, what are coaching skills? If you don't want the suggestion by SEO, by Surfer SEO, then all I want you to do is, okay, what are coaching skills? You know the trick of using the 3 asterisks, right? And then I will ask Jarvis to do this. Jarvis, please Command J for me. So let me move myself here. Command J or Control J if you're using Windows. Okay, so I have already exceeded, but I just want to show you, right? So allow me to do this. Okay, so there are different types of, okay, so this one not necessary already. Okay, so alternatively, you can say, Jarvis, depends on the command, write a paragraph about the definition of coaching skills using friendly tone. Okay, so highlight the paragraph, command enter, and see what pops up. Okay, so this is how you ask Jarvis to write something. Of course, I always say that you got to train Jarvis to familiarize with the topic, because Jarvis is learning. Like if you're asking Jarvis to write coaching for the very first time, Jarvis will have problem. Just like when you write your article for first time on niche, you have learning time. So Jarvis will face the same thing. When I like what Jarvis does, I will just Command J again, and you know what? Jarvis will just continue spitting out of the words. Like right now, I'm just at the introduction. I've got 1,511 words. Sometimes Surfer SEO may ask you to write 2,000 words, 3,000 words, 4,000 words. So this is what you do. Okay, you can see that here coaches provide objective outside perspective of what, blah blah blah. So what are good coaching skills? Okay, so you can actually ask Jarvis to write something based on this. Okay, so Command J. So you just test out Command J, or give Jarvis a command and see what Jarvis comes up. Like this is the editing side of Jarvis, which I'm not going to. I just want to show you that the difference between a month ago and now, for me, when it comes to using Jarvis, is number one, I will use Surfer SEO to make sure that the keyword that I'm putting on my article is having a high score. So it's actually in demand. People are actually searching for those keywords and phrases. That's one. That's the first difference I would say. Number two, what I'm doing is that I'll get Surfer to give me the H1, H2, H3. I may not go to H4, H5, like that's just too much already. And then all I want to do is, like, of course, Server also gives you some other clues on competitors, URLs, topic question, etc. So I'm not going to get that because there's so many things you can use for for Server SEO. Okay, so all I want you to do is to take note that under the guidelines, these are the words, the keywords that you need to be conscious. Of course, I don't think you'll be able to use all. I have never had that incident where I use all the keywords. Okay, it's just highly not possible. But just take note, these are the words suggested by Server SEO. On the brief, you see the H1, H2. I want you to pay attention to H1. What are the things that Survey SEO can suggest to help you put into the article? Okay, so that would be something, for example, to start with your title as well as the introductory paragraph. So it's a bit different from the old days when I asked Jarvis to create the introduction. And then H2 would be the meat of the article, whereby you can actually select the topic, the paragraphs that fits to what you want to write and plonk them in. So now you've got a skeleton for your article. And number 3, of course, let Jarvis do 2 things. 1, rephrase the content. Number 2, edit it. And of course, the last thing I want you to do is to make sure that you put this, like in my previous video, you remember I talked about putting this to Grammarly. Okay, Grammarly. And let's say I go to my Grammarly account, and then I just copy and paste the whole damn thing. I want to make sure that Grammarly said the plagiarism score is low. Okay, so I will do that as well. So if you are interested in this, just check out my previous video, one that talks about how to use Grammarly to check the plagiarism score. So if a score is 10% or below, that's okay, because the contents are generated by AI, so you are not copied directly from someone's website. So that would be why I say that plagiarism is not my concern. Last but not least, for SEO purposes, think about a way to create your backlinks. So I may create another video sometimes later talking about how to put the backlinks, because backlink is also pretty important for SEO purposes. But I just want to show you for the first time how you can create the long form article using Jarvis as usual with the help of Surfer SEO. Okay, so if you're interested in knowing what more about SEO, Surfer SEO can do, I want you to comment below so that I can create videos on Surfer SEO to help you. Based on my experience, of course, I'm not like the professor of Surfer SEO. I'll do my best to help you. And number 2, subscribe to my channel and give us a like so that I'm able to create more videos that are relevant to you when it comes to copywriting AI tools. Finally, all I want you to do is check out the description, the links on the description. I'm going to provide you with the free Chrome extension tool so that you just click it, you can actually have it. Okay, you don't need to worry about going anywhere. Number 2, of course, if you want to check out Surfer SEO, I have also the link under the description so that you are able to check out whether Surfer SEO is for you. I will do a video maybe another time talking about the investments for Surfer SEO. It's not free, of course, there's a subscription involved, but that means that it might be useful and relevant to your need as a copywriter. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit long, and thank you for your patience. Jack Wong here signing off. I'll see you in another video on Jarvis and Surfer SEO. Cheers.